given, you have to write that as a product of matrices. As a product of matrices. That is the first step. And in the second step, what you do? Find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Find the eigenvalues and eigenvector of A. That is the second step. First of all, you have to write the matrix form of the quadratic form as a product of matrices. Then, after that, you have to find the eigenvalues and eigenvector for a matrix A. Then, what is the third step I have given? After that, what you will do?
Construct the normalized matrix.
You normalize the vectors x1, x2, x3, and whatever vector you are getting. Okay, you have to normalize the eigenvector, whatever eigenvector you have got, those eigenvector you have to normalize. And I have told you how to normalize them. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then, what will you do in the fourth step? What you will do in the fourth step? Step 4. You have to construct a normalized matrix P. You have to construct a normalized matrix P such that x1 normalized vector will be the first column, x2 the normalized vector of x2 bar, the normalized vector of x2 will be the second column, and x3 bar, which is the normalized vector for x3, will be the third column, and that will be a matrix. So that matrix is nothing but normalized matrix. That is nothing but normalized matrix. So far we have done the problems. So far we have done the problems also. Okay. Hereafter we added a new step. What is the new step? We will assume x as p into y with y as another unknown, y1, y2, y3. That depends upon the order of x. That depends upon the order of x. Okay. So we will assume that suppose the unknown vector x is equal to the normalized matrix P into another unknown vector y. And then what we get? We get that Q equal to x transpose Ax, and that is equal to x transpose P transpose y transpose P transpose A P into y. But this one is nothing but D. This one is nothing but D with the diagonal entries as the eigenvalues. So we can have like this. This is equal to y transpose, then lambda 1
recording, sir.
0, lambda 2 0, 0
Sir.
0 lambda 3 into y into
Sir,
but y is nothing but a column matrix.
hello.
Y column matrix. So what is the transpose of y?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, nothing. You haven't started recording the class.
Yeah, I will start. Anybody recording it? If somebody is recording means please stop it so that I can record from here. Somebody already started recording, so please stop it so that I can record from here. Even though you will record, this will not go to you. Okay, now I am recording. Now tell me, what will be y transpose? If y is a column matrix, what will be y transpose?
Row matrix.
Matrix.
So we can have y y1, y2, y3 into the diagonal matrix lambda 1, 0, 0, 0, lambda 2, 0, 0, 0, lambda 3 into the column matrix y1, y2, and y3. y1, y2, and y3. So this is the thing we are getting. Now we will find the product of this one. Then what we will get? y1, y2, y3 row matrix into lambda 1, 0, 0, 0, lambda 2, 0, 0, 0, lambda 3 into a column matrix y1, y2, y3. And if we simplify it, we will get lambda 1, y1 square plus lambda 2, y2 square plus lambda 3, y3 square. We will get it. Okay. Now, depending upon the number of terms here, we can able to find out the index of the canonical form, the signature of the canonical form, the rank of the canonical form. Okay. So this is actually your canonical form. This is your canonical form. Okay. So depending upon the number of terms present here, whether they are positive, they are negative, depending upon their sign also, we can able to find the index, rank, and signature. As well as we can able to decide whether the matrix A or the quadratic form, whether the quadratic form is positive definite or positive semi-definite and negative definite or negative semi-definite, we can able to decide from this canonical form. So how can we decide? That we will discuss today. So far I had told you in the last class. Okay. So now our aim is to discuss the property of a quadratic form depending upon the canonical form. Depending upon the canonical form, we will decide the nature of the canonical form or quadratic form. So now let us start with index. Remember, canonical form is this one: eigenvalue 1, eigenvalue 2, eigenvalue 3. Okay. If you have n cross n matrix, how many eigenvalues will you have? If you have n eigenvalue, what will be the output?
N eigenvalues, sir.
Okay. So if the matrix is of order n cross, you will have n eigenvalues. If there are n eigenvalues, then the corresponding matrix will be of order n cross n. Okay. So depending upon this, you can able to decide the order of the matrix also, whatever matrix you are having. So like this form is called canonical form. Like this form is called canonical form. Now we will write the property of the matrix of a canonical form depending upon this. So first one is index. Index. What is index? The number of positive terms. The number of positive terms in the canonical form. The number of positive terms in the canonical form is called index of that form. That means if you are having 3 terms, totally how many terms you are having here? 3 terms. If all of the terms are positive, we don't take a 0. Here one thing we will remember that under the condition determinant is non-zero. That we will discuss in the positive definite. So here all the terms are positive. All the terms are positive. Then what we say? This canonical form is, the index of this canonical form is 3, because we are having 3 terms and each of them are positive. For example, suppose I write 2y1 square plus y2 square plus 3y3 square. Total how many terms are there?
3.
3 terms. So what are the sign of each of the term?
Positive.
Positive sign.
Then what will be the index here?
3.
3.
Total number of positive terms in the canonical form is the index for that form. Okay. Now suppose what I will write 2y1 square minus y2 square plus 3y3 square. Total how many terms are there?
3.
3.
Among them how many are positive, negative?
2. 2 negative.
Two positive and 1 negative.
One is negative. So what will be the index?
2.
2. The definition says that number of positive terms. Positive terms means this one is a positive term and this one is also a positive term, but this is negative. Okay. So your number of positive terms are 2. So in this may be a canonical form from some other quadratic form. We don't know that. Just for your understanding, I am writing this one. Okay. So since in this canonical form there are 2 positive terms, so the index of that canonical form will be 2. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose I will write here minus 3y1 square minus 5y2 square minus y3 square. How many terms are there?
3.
3.
Is there any positive terms?
No, sir.
No, sir.
What will be the index?
0.
0.
Because there is no positive term, so index will be 0. So I hope you understood this thing. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then next thing is rank. Next thing is rank. The total number of, you write, the number of non-zero terms in the canonical form is called rank of that form. Rank of that form. So what is the meaning of this statement? Here before we had written the number of positive terms, but here we are writing the number of non-zero terms. What does it mean?
The
Please, somebody is making disturbance. Mute up. Mute yourself. Somebody is making some disturbance. Please mute. Now, what is the difference between this statement and the previous statement? In the previous statement, we were considering only positive terms, but here we are considering all non-zero terms. Either it may be positive, it may be negative, but it should not be 0.
0.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
So all the terms, whether it is positive or negative but non-zero, then we can say the number of terms, such term in the canonical form will be ranked for the canonical form. For example, suppose I will take y1 square plus y2 square plus 3y3 square. Now tell me, what is the index here? Suppose this is the canonical form. What is the index?
3.
3. Do you agree, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Only 3-4
Yes,
people
sir.
are there. What about others?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the number of index here?
3.
Index is
3.
3. Now
Yes,
tell me,
sir.
can you see the rank?
3.
3.
Can you write?
3, sir.
3.
No, in the previous definition, in the index, you write it is denoted by small p. Index is denoted by small p. You write, please mention in the statement at the end it is denoted by small p. Okay. In the rank, you continue, and it is denoted by small r. It is denoted by small r. Small p means index, small r means rank. Okay. So here rank is 3, but the index also 3. Rank is 3 and index also 3. Now my question is, suppose y1 square minus y2 square plus 3y3 square. Tell me what is the index, what is the rank?
Index
Index is 2, range is
3.
3.
Index is 2 and range is 3.
But rank is
3.
rank 3. Because
Three.
all are non-zero, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then suppose I will write 0 into y1 square minus y2 square plus y3 square. Now tell me what is the number index and what is the rank?
Index is 2, sir.
Index is
2.
2.
no, you think
Two.
properly.
Sir, index is 1.
Index is 1.
1. 1.
Index
is 1. Index is 1, 1, 1, 1.
Rank is
Index is 1 and the rank is 2.
Rank is 2. Rank
Rank
2.
is 2, sir.
Rank is 2.
Rank is 2.
we don't
Okay, yeah.
put the zero term. So there are two other terms, either it may be positive or negative. So these two terms are called rank. Okay. Number of non-zero terms are called rank. So two terms are there which are non-zero. So rank is 2. But index is, what is your index? Positive
One.
term. 0.
1.
1, sir.
1. Index is 1.
1.
Index is also 1. 0 is positive or negative?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing. We cannot determine the sign of 0. Okay. So like this, you have to decide what is the rank and what is the index. Now, before going to signature, what I will do, suppose here your rank is 3 and index is also 3. But here your rank is 3, but index is 2. Then how can we get the negative term here? Rank is total number and index is only positive number. Then what will be the number of negative number?
Rank minus
Yes, rank minus.
index.
You see, there are total 3 terms. There are total 3 terms. Among them, how many are positive, how many are negative?